Good morning, students. This is your science teacher, and today we will learn about the topic soil. But before moving to the question answers directly, here we have a few points which are important to consider first. So let's start. First point, soil is one of the most important natural resource. Now we all know that soil is a source of almost all the nutrients required by the plants, and plants are the primary producers of food. Hence, soil becomes most important natural resource. Then second point, soil is the home for many organisms and it is essential for agriculture. Now we know already that there are two types of animals. One or first type of animals which live in the water, and second type of animals live on the ground surface of the earth, and soil provides space to live for that type of organisms, and it is also essential means important for agriculture, as there is no doubt that agriculture is all depends upon the soil. Then next point, the rotting dead matter in soil is called humus. Listen carefully beta. Here the meaning of rotting is to organic material which is decaying, like dead leaves of plants, waste materials of animals, etc., which combinedly form a material called as humus. Then next point, soil is formed by the process of weathering. Now here the weathering means breakdown of big solid rocks, into small tiny powder like particles, which is then called as soil. Then next point, the mixture of rock particles and humus is called the soil. Obviously, in soil there is a mixture of dead and decaying matter, that is humus, plus weathered rocks, that is soil particles. Then the next point, soil is of different types, namely clay, loamy, and sandy. Now there are some types of soils. First of all, clay. Clay soil means the soil having fine particles and other minerals in it. Then we have loamy. Loamy soil means the soil containing both clay and sand particles, and loamy soil is also a fertile type of soil. Then in last we have sandy. Sandy soil or sand soil means a soil which lacks water vapors, and hence it is warm, dry, light, and having low nutrient content or levels. Then next point, the phenomenon of absorption of water by soil is termed as percolation. The percolation rate of water is different in different types of soils. It is highest in sandy soil and last in the clay soil. Now the tendency of soil to absorb water is called as percolation, and speed of absorbing water by the soil is called as percolation rate of that soil, which is different for different types of soils, and it is depend upon the presence of water vapor in the soil, soil particles, soil texture, etc., etc. So sandy soil is already lacks of water, so it absorbs water quickly, and hence its percolation rate means tendency to absorb water is very high, whereas it is low in case of clay soil because it already have water in it. Then next point, if the soil is made of a greater proportion of big particles, then it is called as sandy soil. Now proportion means we can say the amount, as here amount or proportion of big particles is more than the amount of small particles, then that type of soil is called as sandy soil. Clay soil or clay soils are heavy and hold more water. As we discussed already, clay soil has water in it, which becomes it as heavier in terms of weight. Then next point, loamy soils, a mixture of sand, soil and silt, as we discussed in sixth point beta. Then next point, cereals like wheat and gram are grown in clay and loamy soils because these soils have better water retention capacity. Now means that crops like wheat and bean grams grow well in loamy and clay soils, as these soils retain means hold much water, which crops like wheat can easily take from the soil for its growth, and even without any extra major efforts. So these type of soils provide better growth to the crops. Then next point, clay soils are rich in humus and fertile. These soils are very good for wheat. Now in addition to the good water holding capacity, the clay soils have more nutrients also because of presence of humus, which makes it ideal for the growth of wheat like crops. And that's it, that is all about by the points, and I suggest to you to carefully read these points again and listen this lecture again. And if you have any doubt regarding these points or any other topics of science, then don't worry about it. Write it on your notebook and we will definitely discuss it in school lecture. Till then, stay safe, stay indoor and be happy. In last, thanks for listening.